Hey folks, this is Kalani. We have so many updates to go over this week. We have some new previews of the Heroes Talent system coming in the War Within, which basically gives us subclasses to play around with. So if you've ever wanted to be a Dark Ranger Hunter or have 3 different power infusion buffs as a priest, those will definitely be of interest. There's new holiday event rewards to collect, big nerfs for the Amirdrassil raid on Mythic, we have some more information about patch 10.2.6, and Season 4 might start up sooner than we thought. There's a lot to talk about, so let's go over all of the updates this week in World of Warcraft. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. First up this week, we finally have some more information about the future of World of Warcraft and what the timeline is looking like for our next few patches. Holly Longdale gave us a large in-depth post earlier this week that went over some small details of 10.2.6 among other things. So we now know that 10.2.6 will go live sometime in March, and the main focus of the patch will be a mysterious new event that is based upon past musings of the community. That's led a lot of folks to think we're going to get some kind of pirate event that fits in with all the vague pirate-themed hints that we've had so far. So we will have to wait until March to get our next round of content updates, but I think things will start moving much faster after 10.2.6 goes live. We also know that Season 4 info and data will be included in patch 10.2.6 and will start testing right after the patch goes live, so we have that to look forward to, but then we also have the War Within Alpha starting up before Season 4 according to the roadmap, so that will also probably fire up sometime in March. Then we're moving on to patch 10.2.7 quickly after that, so the first little section of this year may have been a bit slow, but I think as soon as March rolls around it's going to be relatively fast paced up until the new expansion launches sometime in summer, which is all very exciting. Now we don't really have much other information about the patch besides it will include a special event and will lead into Season 4 later on, so it could be a smaller patch, which isn't too surprising considering it is labelled as a 0.6 patch. We haven't really had a 0.6 patch before, and we still have a 0.7 in its usual slot, so it being a small patch is almost a given, but maybe they'll surprise us, we just have to wait and see. Now before we continue, I want to talk about today's sponsor that left me shocked. Why? Because just like you, I've heard them advertised everywhere and assumed the game sucked. It's Raid Shadow Legends. The worlds of Raid Shadow Legends and Monster Hunter are colliding in an amazing limited time crossover. Starting on January 9th, 2024 and finishing on March 5th, players can collect 5 Monster Hunter themed legendary champions based on iconic monsters from Capcom's action RPG franchise. Rathalos, Zinogre, Alatrion, Fatalis, and Ruiner Nergante. Everyone can get the Rathalos Blademaster legendary champion for free simply by logging into Raid for 7 days between now and March 5th. Now I know what you're thinking, Raid? Isn't that the silly mobile game where it takes a lot of time and money to progress? Well, after trying it I can say that's not always the case. Raid has a lot of depth and strategy. There's over 800 heroes to mix and match to perfect your team, each with unique abilities to change the flow of combat. Thanks to Raid's auto battle mode, you can run it in the background while doing other activities, and it's cross-platform so you can play anywhere you want. You can also play the entire game without spending a single cent. If you haven't started playing Raid yet, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get insane starter bonuses including 500,000 silver, energy, and chicken. Find me in game as Kalani.io and you can join my clan Kalani Salamis. Click the link in the description and I'll see you there. Now getting back to the video, another big update that we have this week gives us a closer look at how the next expansion is shaping up and what certain classes are going to play like in the War Within. We have an early version of 4 new hero talent trees. Now if you don't remember what these are or you haven't seen them before, they're kind of like subclasses. Each spec will have 2 different hero talent trees to choose from, and each hero talent tree has a unique theme which gives you new abilities and changes how certain spells work or interact with each other. So first up we have Oracle Priests. This will be available for Holy and Discipline Priests and is fully doubling or even tripling down on Power Infusion. The whole tree works around a new ability called Premonition. This replaces Power Infusion and it can increase your target's healing received, increase your target's magic damage, or increase your target's physical damage. So it doesn't matter if your class doesn't scale very well with haste, everyone is going to enjoy a nice damage boost, meaning everyone will want a slice of this particular cake. The cooldown is also just 1 minute, giving you more buffs to throw out, and there are various ways to increase the number of times you can cast it, or just simply reducing its cooldown, but the power really starts to creep in with the rest of the passives here. You've got boosts to Powered Shield and Prayer of Mending, increasing the duration of certain spells. You can share your feather speed boosts. There are buffs to external cooldowns. You can gain additional charges of premonition, reduce its cooldown, or give it extra effects like mana regen, or you can add that haste buff back in. And then at the very bottom, the capstone talent seems even more powerful. Premonition has a low chance to grant you clairvoyance, giving your target and 2 allies all effects of premonition at 100% effectiveness. So you are going to be a huge buff bot, and it's not going to be limited to just one target, so it sounds a bit more like Augmentation Evoker, where you can buff quite a few folks at once. If you've been wanting a bit more support in your healer playstyle and you love giving people buffs like Power Infusion, this talent set should be great for you. Another very exciting hero talent set we have to look at this week is Dark Ranger for Beast Mastery and Marksmanship Hunter. This will bring back Black Arrow as a main ability for the tree to deal shadow damage over time. Every time it deals damage, it can also reset aim shot or barbed shot, giving you extra access to those abilities. There are various buffs to your shots. You have a chance to summon undead hounds. Black Arrow can trigger other passives from your talent tree. You can reset the cooldown on Black Arrow or gain additional focus. Dark Chains gives you another root effect when you disengage. Black Arrow will interact with your major DPS cooldowns as well. There's some extra AoE potential in here, more shadow damage, and then down at the bottom, whenever Black Arrow resets the cooldown of an ability, you fire off a barrage of dark arrows, which increases your damage even further. So we finally have the Dark Ranger fantasy being included in our talent options. I would like to have seen maybe a few different abilities thrown into the mix. We have seen and used Black Arrow a few times throughout different expansions, but I'm excited to see how it plays either way. Then we have the Frostfire Mage preview. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It's available for both Frost and Fire Mages, shock I know, and it will give you various benefits and bonuses to both types of damage. The top talent is Frostfire Mastery, which gives you a stacking haste buff for casting fire spells and a stacking mastery buff for casting frost spells. Adding stacks does not refresh the duration though, so you will need to manage those stacks wisely. Throughout the tree we get various spell effects that trigger their opposite element version, like getting 2 shields for casting a barrier spell. Frostfire Bolt will let you generate both kinds of stacks with a single cast. You can reduce the cooldown on abilities. Comet Storm and Meteor get linked up together. There are buffs and bonuses to Frostfire Bolt. There are special bonuses for reaching max stacks of each buff. Frostfire Empowerment will grant you max stacks of both of your buffs, and when you use your major cooldowns you automatically gain Frostfire Empowerment. All of these passives should weave together to create a lot of burst moments, with various different spells being a key part of your kit. And then the last preview we have is for Balance and Resto Druids, the Keeper of the Grove hero talent set. This one is all about your Force of Nature treants and new dream buffs that provide extra AoE options. There are passives to empower your trees to deal extra damage or help with your healing. They will cast certain spells automatically. You can trade off utility for throughput, extra resource generation. There are general bonuses to your character, extra defensive options, and a lot of choice nodes. Then down at the bottom, each treant also gives you a nice bonus to your damage and healing, so that turns treants into an even larger DPS cooldown. Now remember that besides the choice nodes in these hero talent trees, you will have access to every one of these new talents. This isn't really a case of pick and choose 1 or 2 from each row. You will unlock all 11 nodes in the hero talent trees by the time you reach max level. The only choice is with those choice nodes, obviously, which can change things up, but for the most part the big choice will be which hero talent tree you want to run with, because every spec will have 2 options to pick from. I'm really excited to see these in-game and get some hands-on experience. Hopefully most of them will be in the first few builds of the War Within Alpha, so I can't wait for that to all start up. Moving on, quite a few holiday events started up this week. We have both the Lunar Festival as well as Love is in the Air. Both of these events have some new stuff to do, but more importantly, some cool new rewards to get your hands on. For the Lunar Festival, the coolest addition, in my opinion, is the Lunar Festival armor for the Slither Drake Dragon Riding Mount. This armor set comes with a helmet, some claws, and a saddle upgrade for your Slither Drake, and it looks pretty awesome, very fitting for the Year of the Dragon. I'm just sad that we don't have matching armor sets for the other dragon riding drakes, because some of those dragons would look amazing with lunar themed armor. Maybe next year. You don't really have to do anything special for this new customization option, just visit the Lunar Festival vendor and fork over 50,000 gold. Now, Love is in the Air has a lot more in store for us this year. There's a whole new quest hub just outside of Orgrimmar or Stormwind where you can pick up various quests to earn love tokens and spend them all on some fun goodies. New rewards for this year include the Heartseeker Mana Ray Mount, the Heartseeker Moth Battle Pet, the exquisite Love Boat toy which comfortably seats up to 4 people so you can share the love, as well as various other collectibles and transmogs. Be sure you pop by the vendors to see if there's anything that takes your fancy. You also have a chance to get the Love Armor for your renewed Proto-Drake Dragon Riding Mount out of the heart-shaped box, so if that's something you want to get your hands on, be sure you're queuing into the event dungeon every day. And then if you're feeling very charitable, you can also get an achievement for donating 50,000 gold to the Artisans Consortium. This was originally 70,000, but I guess that was just too expensive for a simple achievement, so now you only have to fork over 50,000 gold to get those sweet, sweet achievement points. Totally worth it, am I right? Another update for live servers this week is that the mythic difficulty of Amirdrassil is finally open to cross-realm groups thanks to the Hall of Fame finally filling up. This feels like one of the longer Hall of Fames for sure, and I guess it's not really surprising with the last few bosses on Mythic being very difficult to progress through. So if you've been struggling to get your Mythic group all together and online to actually get some Mythic bosses killed, now you can open things up to cross-realm pugs to make things just a bit easier. Something else that's going to make these bosses easier are some much needed nerfs. There weren't a lot of nerfs this week, but Farak saw quite a few, including his health being reduced by 10%, the Burning Colossus and Dark Colossus health was also reduced by 10%, the Flame debuffs were reduced from 4 to 3, the Spirits of the Kaldori and Darnassus Ancient health were reduced by 20%, the Heart of the Amirdrassil now begins stage 2 with 60% health remaining, and there will be only 1 Corrupted Seed down from 2, so the fight should be at least a bit easier through the multiple phases to help more guilds get it down before we head into Season 4. I imagine we will see a lot more nerfs to the raid in general as we get closer to Season 4 as well, so if you are struggling to get through the raid on whatever difficulty, don't give up hope. There may be some nerfs coming through before the end of the season to help everyone get their AOTC and cutting edge achievements. And then to round out this video, Phase 2 of Season of Discovery went live this week, increasing the level cap to 40. There's a new raid to look forward to in Gnomeregan, a new PvP event in Stranglethorn, new abilities and runes to discover, as well as a secret sleeping bag to provide you with a reusable experience buff, so that's cool too. If you haven't jumped into the Season of Discovery yet, there's also a 50% bonus experience buff for any characters below level 25 to help you get caught up, and I managed to get my priest from 1 to 25 in about 8 hours, I think, just kind of farting around, so it's definitely a lot faster than you would probably expect from classic WoW. If you are struggling to find things to do in retail or you just want a change of pace, hop into Season of Discovery and give it a try. Your WoW sub does give you access to both retail and classic versions of the game, so it's not like it's going to cost you anything extra. There are also plans to keep updating the game after it gets to the level 60 bracket, so if that's of interest to you, keeping up with the leveling as the phases release would be a good idea. But that's all of the updates we have for this week, so that's it for this video. What do you think the 10.2.6 event could be? Which holiday event rewards are you going to work towards, and have you tried out the Season of Discovery yet, and what do you think? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon or click the join button just below this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time. But remember to click the link in the description to get that legendary champion in Raid Shadow Legends.